You're failing to pull the easiest lever in your business, the one that can generate thousands of dollars in sales. You're probably too focused on AI tools, traffic sources, or finding the next product to promote, when in reality, the single most important factor in getting a sale by far is the offer, not the product, the offer. And no, the product and the offer are not the same thing. No matter your business model, affiliate marketing, high-ticket coaching, SaaS, dropshipping, you can start creating better offers around the products you're already promoting, and as a result, watch your conversions skyrocket. My name is William Souza. I've been a full-time internet marketer for over 15 years, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to share my irresistible offer formula with you. Once you start applying this formula to your business, you stop struggling with ad campaigns, organic content, and emails that don't convert. I'll show you what an irresistible offer really is, why it's the most critical element in your marketing, and how to create one in just minutes. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next video, and let's dive in. Quick disclaimer. The results and examples mentioned in this video are not typical and shouldn't be considered guaranteed. Business outcomes can vary widely depending on your experience, effort, and execution. Use this information at your own discretion. So first thing we're going to do here is to understand exactly what an offer is. When I say that you need to have an irresistible offer, I think it's important that you understand what actually an offer is. I think that an offer is composed by three core elements. That's for any offer. And an irresistible offer arises from you having each of those three elements calibrated and improved to a level where you're nearly perfect. So when you get to that point, then you have an irresistible offer. And the first element is the product. The product is not the offer. It's part of the offer. So it's one component. It's not the whole thing. And the product is not the element that people actually pay for. Your product is your deliverable. It means that this is the tool that they will use for achieving what is the second element, and which is the element that they actually pay for, which is the outcome. People pay for a specific outcome, for something they want to change in their lives, for something they want to achieve, for something they want to have, for something they want to become, for something they want to feel or experience. That's what they consider to be worth their hard-earned money. So if they're going to pay for your weight loss program, they're not going to pay for a weight loss program. That's the product. That's what you're going to deliver to people. But it's going to be just a tool for a healthier body or a lean body. That is actually the outcome that they're paying for. So if you ask someone how much they would be willing to invest in a weight loss program, maybe they will say like nothing or a few $100s. But if you ask them how much they would be willing to pay if they had an absolute guarantee that they would have their dream body for the rest of their lives, well, I'm pretty sure that many people would pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that. That is the outcome. That is what's truly worth money for people, what they would be very happy to pay for. And the third element is the copy. The copy is a very key component of an offer. What you need to understand at this point is that the copy is how you communicate the outcome to your potential customer. You have something in your mind that is not yet in the customer's mind. You know how great your product is, and you know how incredible are the results of your current customers and members or students. You know what kind of knowledge you have and how much you can help people who are struggling with that specific issue. But if you do not know how to get the message across and how to communicate all of that to people, you're not going to get the sale. Actually, if you do it wrong, you're going to lose their attention pretty fast. You need to know at least the basics of copy. Let me just give you one more analogy here, just so this is pretty clear, and then we can go to how I actually structure these three core elements to create an irresistible offer. Just imagine yourself walking into a grocery store. Your goal there is to buy cereal. You see the boxes and the shelves there, and you grab one of them, and all you have is that box in your hands. And you have to analyze the information in that box to determine whether you want to buy that cereal or not. And you're going to perhaps go through some of the specifics there, like the calories, for example, if you are on a diet, or maybe some of the ingredients. But there is also an unconscious process that will be taking place, which will basically come from the images, colors, and the overall impression that the box will cause on you. All you can do to make your decision is to analyze two things. First, the box, and second, the price tag on it. And then you can determine whether that price tag is compatible with what you're looking at. Then you can make your decision whether to buy it or not. You're not going to be given the chance to taste the cereal. You're not going to be given the chance to touch it, to experience experience the cereal in any way, you're going to have to make your decision just based on that box. If you're concerned about that initial sale, you have to focus a lot on your offer, on your box, on your package that you have there. And you don't have to change the product that is inside. This is good news. Like, you don't have to rework all the products and stuff you've got. You can create an irresistible offer for an existing product. Let's talk about the product first, which is the first element. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one because I think that this one is probably the one that most people are already familiar with, and they can normally handle this one. Let's just talk about this one briefly. So let's start with the low effort mechanism, which is very important. People want to achieve the best result possible with the least amount of effort. If you've seen some stuff by Alex Hormozy, maybe you've seen his value equation, which is a formula that he uses to describe the value that people attribute to a product or to an offer. It's based actually on low effort and low risk, and then a big outcome. If you have a mechanism that involves a lot of work, a lot of effort, it will naturally be harder for you to get the sale. It's much easier to sell, for example, a weight loss pill than it is to sell a workout routine or a dieting plan, because taking a pill is much easier than doing some workouts or being more careful with what they're eating. If you can have a low effort mechanism, this is going to make a tremendous difference, especially your entry products. Proven track record. Obviously, you want to have testimonials, you want to have some sort of endorsement, you want to have scientific or practical proof that your mechanism, that your product really works. And you want to have, ideally, a clear differentiation point, something that makes your product different, even if it's just slightly from the others. It doesn't have to be something revolutionary, completely different, unheard of, but it has to be like something that is an extra and that makes it not exactly the same, that basically prevents your product from becoming a commodity. Okay, now let's talk about the outcome. It's actually very simple, but sometimes people get too excited about their products that they forget that that's not exactly what people are paying for. You can use the product and your mechanism to convince people that particular product that you have there will help them achieve an outcome that they want in a way that other products and other services have failed to do in the past. But what they really want is the outcome. The outcome, first of all, has to be very specific to your avatar. It's going to be much harder for you to get a conversion if you're marketing to a broad audience that have different pain points, different goals. So you really want to get very specific about your avatar. You're going to be able to offer them the perfect outcome. There's something here that you have to pay attention when it comes to the outcome, which is the type of problem that you're going to solve for them. So normally an outcome is going to be about solving a problem. So if people are unhappy about their body, you're going to help them get a better body. So you're actually solving that problem. Focus on addressing the most urgent pain you can. Think about what is the most urgent thing they have. What is the most urgent problem they want to get rid of? It doesn't have to be something robust. It doesn't have to be the ultimate solution that will solve all their problems. You can solve just one specific problem that's a very urgent problem. For example, let's think about an online entrepreneur. Obviously, they want to make their business more successful. They want to make more money. Those are big things, but maybe you will discover that their biggest issue is paying too much for their traffic. And that's an urgent pain they have now. Or they're not closing enough JV partnerships. Or their offer is not converting. They're not getting enough sales. These are all examples of more specific problems. Think about those minor problems, specific problems, and you find the most urgent one, then that's the right one for you to have for your irresistible offer. And the big solution is something that you can have normally for a high-end product, for people who already know you, trust you, who have already had the experience of working with you. And then we have the copy element. First, you need to ensure you have people's full attention. Your message, your video, your sales page, your ad, your creative, your email, whatever it is, the marketing piece you're using to communicate your offer, it has to primarily achieve the goal of generating instant attention and retaining that attention. There are some mistakes that people make and that absolutely kill this one. One very common that I see is to talk first about themselves. So they start by showing how awesome they are, why why they are the biggest authority in their field and all the awesome things they've done and all the books they've published. That's not going to retain most customers. They don't care about what you've done or who you are or your accomplishments. They care about themselves. So if you start with a very clear, straightforward promise, you're going to have their attention. It has to be something very strong. It can be something controversial. It can be something that, like, for example, your business will be dead in 1 year from now unless you start working with this new platform. It has to be about them, their business, their results, their risks, their potential. Just checking social media and seeing the hooks that people are using for Reels or TikTok videos to help you get instant attention. After that, show that you are knowledgeable about their problem. Focus on demonstrating that you know exactly what they've been going through. For example, if you help women lose weight and regain their self-confidence, start talking about that. Talk about how they feel when they look in the mirror and just feel depressed about what they see. Talk to them about what you know they feel and experience and all the things that go through their mind when they see that their husband is actually looking at another woman. Talk about the things that they feel and experience in their daily lives and that connect with the outcome. That is going to be the biggest authority possible. They will know for a fact that you know what you're talking about, that you know what they've been going through. And when you tell them that there is a way out of that situation, they will listen to you. Because if you know the problem so well, you earn the right to solve that problem for them. What you want to focus on mainly after that problem is your solution. What makes it easier? What makes it less risky? Show elements that diminish as much as possible the risk of things going wrong and that they not getting that outcome, and focus on proof. Everything that you claim in your copy must come together with a piece of proof. It can be a testimonial, which would be social proof. It could be a scientific proof, an article or some research that renowned institute has conducted and that proves that what you're saying makes sense. Or it could be practical proof, like a demonstration. Like if you're selling a software or a tool, then it makes a lot of sense to have a demonstration there. It can be just logical proof. You can just make them understand that it makes sense logically, but you need to prove everything that you say. All the claims that you make, prove them. Keep proving them. Overwhelm people with proof elements. So if you can have these 3 elements right, with all these components in place, then you're going to make your offer an irresistible offer. The most important ones are, first, it's having the right outcome, being very specific about that, touching the exact nerve that is important for people. That is the number one thing. Then the other thing I think that's very important is to have a mechanism that people will believe in. Get all these 3 elements in place for your existing products, for your existing service, for the entry products, for marketing to cold traffic, to warm traffic, for ascending customers, to back-end offers. If you can have always for every single offer you present to people these elements in place, you're going to get better results. If you promote things as an affiliate, you can also have these 3 elements in place. There's a limit to how far you can go, but you can, for example, focus on putting more emphasis on the right elements. Like if you think that your product doesn't have the best mechanism, but it has great proof and a great outcome, focus on the outcome, focus on the proof. Do not put too much emphasis on the mechanism that you think is not the strong point of your product. Understanding how these elements combine will help you manipulate and use them in the best way possible. Control the way you are presenting the offer to the prospect. This is what I wanted to share with you. I hope that you were able to get some value from my training today.